So Circle 4 is a farm that processes and kills 1.2 million pigs every year. And these pigs live in unfathomable misery. So today we've got 4 or 5 hours from now, we're gonna be out there on the farm. Paul's gonna be manning the camera. The rest of you are gonna help me with logistics and supplies. Again, if we see an animal who we can take out, we'll take them out. But our main objective today is exposure, to show the world what's actually happening behind these closed doors. So you all ready to go?
Yeah.
You ready to go? Let's do this. So we're outside of a dumpster at Circle 4, and they literally just took a mother pig who was sick and not able to stand any longer, threw her in here head first with a pile of probably 100 dead babies. And when we just got here, we could still hear the blood dripping from her body. And you know, she probably died from blunt force trauma to the head. She's covered with all sorts of disgusting feces, blood, rotten corpses. And again, this is what happens at every single pig farm in the world, because they treat these animals as if they're just things, but they're not things, they're living creatures. And they deserve better than this.
All right, folks, we're about to head into Circle 4. This is the heart of evil. You can already hear the screams of the mother pigs inside. They're cramped, they're suffering, and we're going to try and expose what's actually happening inside. You guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get our lights on.
I told them if we get any communication, that means we need to leave, okay? So all you need to do is listen for any communication.
This facility is massive. Even just this one barn, you can see down here, aisle after aisle after aisle of mother pigs. There are hundreds of mother pigs in even just this one barn. But there's 75,000 mothers just like this, 75,000 stalls just like hers at this site. So you hear this constant clanging in this facility because these mother pigs are desperate to get out of the crates. They're smashing their heads up against these crates to the point that they have swelling on their faces, cuts on their faces, and amazingly, this mother pig actually broke the bars, and so they had to tie them shut. You could see she broke open the bars. She was so desperate to escape, but there's no escape, and even if she broke down this entire door, she can't squeeze through this space. This is how small the space that they have to live in is. And oftentimes, they bash their heads, their bodies, and their noses against these steel bars so much that they're just defeated and they fall to the ground, collapse in fatigue, and that's kind of what's happened to this poor mother pig. So she's desperate to get out of here, and you hear the wailing and screaming of the other pigs, and it's because they all want to get out of here and they can't. And she'll be stuck here for at least 4 years, sometimes 5 or 6 years, living in a crate this size, forcibly impregnated over and over again, and then finally killed when she can no longer produce as many piglets as this farm wants her to produce. When she becomes unprofitable, she'll be killed. She'll never step outside her entire life. So this is a farrowing crate. This mother pig was taken from a gestation crate facility to here to give birth. She's going to be with her kids for 3 weeks, and then they're all going to be taken away from her and soon sent off to slaughter. And as you can see here, there's a mess of dead piglets everywhere. Some of these piglets are stillborn. That piglet was probably crushed to death or starved to death, and the most common forms of death in farrowing facilities are blunt force trauma from being crushed by confinement and starvation. As you can see, the piglets are constantly fighting for access to nipples, and if they don't get enough food, They fall behind, they starve to death, and they die. So mothers obviously suffer immensely too because they have to give birth over and over again. And you can see all the blood and pus and infection. And all this is going into our babies, all of this is going into our food system. This violence and suffering is going into every bite of bacon that's served at a restaurant near you.
Wait.
Ready?
You're just watching this car that's off in the distance.
Okay, so we should solve.
Amber, just so you know, we're tracking a vehicle that appears to be inside the farm. I think I'm tracking the same vehicle. Over.
Just in case.
It turned left towards us.
Towards us? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Stay in the shadow, stay in the shadow. Sam, our car appeared to turn in our direction. We are still watching, but we did leave to be safe. We will let you know if it continues to come. You should be prepared to leave. Over.
Over. I see car parked pretty far down, but I would stick to the shadows. Over.
Confirmed. Over. Let's start walking back. I already know one piglet we're going to rescue. We're just going to move straight to the rescue. So we've seen piles of dead piglets, piglets who've starved to death, who've been crushed to death. And we have a little one here whose face is covered with blood. She's half the size of the other piglets. She's going to die unless we get her out. Her mother's nipples have been cut and are so overused that they're bleeding, and you can't even get milk out of them. Her children are literally drinking blood to survive. And this little piglet in the corner, whose face is covered in blood and she's down on the ground, she's not going to make it, and so we're going to take her out. We're going to give her the medical care she deserves, and then we're going to take her to sanctuary, and hopefully she survives. It's scary, I know. We're just going to go through here, sweetheart, and pass you to Andrew. All right, Andrew, be real careful. Bring her in. Support her weight. Let's walk out. And you can see this tiny one right here getting kicked around. The little ones just don't get enough nutrition, and eventually they fall to the ground and starve to death. So when we see a little runt like this who's going to get thumped, she's going to be killed by the industry, she's going to be thrown into a landfill, we try to give them some help, and that's what we're going to do today. It's all right, it's all right. So we're going to take her to a sanctuary where she's going to have a good life. And she'll no longer have to fight every single moment of her life for food, for water, for survival. You guys ready to go? Hold still. Okay, take her to the car. Okay, so we're outside of Circle 4, and we've taken two of these sick, tiny little runt piglets out. We're rushing them to receive veterinary care, but we wanted to see if they could drink some milk, make sure they stay hydrated. So we're gonna try with this little girl first. Let's see. Come on, sweetheart. No. Here, come on.
Come on.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh.
Come here. It's okay. When you're in a movement where you're dealing with so much suffering and violence, it's so important to have that beautiful, positive vision. We need movements that inspire us to be our best selves, that don't just allow us to wallow in our depression, because there are a lot of things to be depressed about, but inspire us to change the world for the better. And this is why when we do our investigations, we always rescue at least one animal, and often many more than one animal, because we know that positive vision, that hopeful story of an animal who goes through redemption, goes through recovery, and is able to stand again and lives a happy life on a sanctuary is so important. If you don't have that positive vision, we're all going to burn out very quickly. We have to see that, hey, we're doing this not just because of what we hate, but because of what we love. Because we believe there's something so beautiful, so great, so inspiring. God, what else would I do with my life than fight for this? I want this. I need this. I care about this. I believe in this. And the more people who see that positive vision, the more people are going to draw into the movement. So if you are moved by what you saw today, please share this story.